theory time. It's theory time. I'll let Sasha start because I know that she's got some theories that she's been waiting to say, and then I'll see what mine are. I've blanked. I don't remember, so I'm just gonna let Sasha start.
So I think one of my first theories, which was the one earlier that I said I'm going to save this for later, is
Yes.
that I kind of have this weird feeling that the timekeepers are not. Now, this is kind of a stretch and it's not really based in logic, but that's what a theory is supposed to be able to do. Okay. I feel like the timekeepers are not actually existing. They're like Oz, who, like, oh, great and powerful, but then, like, behind the curtain, there's someone running the show. Now, do I know who that is? No. Can I really vouch for why I believe this? No. I just feel like they're coming up too often. This Loki is questioning, like, well, where are they? And then this one lady said, the only thing that makes me not believe in this theory that I've created for myself is the kidnapped TVA agent who is like, I told them where the timekeepers are. Like, I told Lady Loki where the
Yeah, that was a
timekeepers are.
big deal too.
So that makes me think, like, okay, they are in a physical location. They do actually exist. But I feel like the fact that we've just seen them in these huge statues, there's always the three faces in the judge room. There's the three of them in the Miss Minutes cartoon. Part of me just thinks that they don't, like, exist at all. That's a stretch, but that is my, like, first theory.
I dig it. I dig it. I have a completely different theory about them, and I'll get into that one right now because you just rekindled my memory. I like that theory though because it could just be a trick of like, oh hey, there's really no one here, and I don't know if I'd really like that.
I don't know if I would either, but that's just something I feel like I have to say it, whether it comes true or not. But I've just gotta.
Yeah. So my theory with the timekeepers, I believe so. The thing I like about the MCU is there's a lot of ambiguity between what's right and what's wrong. We see that up front, foremost in Captain America: Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Thanos rides that line pretty frequently throughout Endgame, Infinity War, and that's something that Marvel does really well. They kind of they don't always define what is right or wrong. It's up to interpretation by the audience. So I think is going to happen, and it's just a theory. I don't know if I don't have any insider information. We will eventually get to the timekeepers. I do think they're real. I don't think that there's anything like secret about them, but they toe that line. And this is what I was talking about when I mean like the neutral. There is no right or wrong for them. It's just here's what the sacred timeline has to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there will be an instance in Loki where something happens and they're like, yo, timekeepers, this is bad. We got to fix this. And they can't, and they're going to be like, nah, this is the sacred
Yeah.
timeline. This is what has to happen. And they're going to have to convince the timekeepers, yo, we got to fix this. And that's how the multiverse is going to, like, there's going to be a scenario where you have to create the multiverse to fix or
Yeah.
say or whatever you have to accomplish. So instead of succeeding by not making the multiverse, really, they'll succeed by convincing the timekeepers to make the multiverse.
Mm.
That's my big theory because look, there's no doubt, there's no secret, the multiverse is coming, whether you like it or not. Doctor Strange's subtitle is literally In the Multiverse of Madness. It's coming. No ifs, ands, or buts. And this is going to be the show to tackle it. Yes, this is how the multiverse. You can think it's going to come some other time, but with the timeline of when projects are coming out, that doesn't make any sense. Because Spider-Man comes out in December, so that doesn't make any sense. It's going to happen in Loki. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we may have that. I don't think the timekeepers are going to be all good like we think they are. The people at the TVA think they are because they were all created by the timekeeper.
Yeah.
It's like Loki says. He literally says this over and over, time and time again. You're feeding me this propaganda. This is propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy this. This isn't real. Because they toe that line between good and bad. Nothing's ever really good. Nothing's ever really bad. And when push comes to shove, nah, that's just what the sacred timeline says. You got to keep living. Like, that's just what it is. So that's my theory. I think that there's going to be something that happens where they have to go to timekeepers and be like, yo, you need to fix this. And they don't. and then a conflict happens, and that's how the multiverse comes out.
Yeah, it's totally like that line from Hamilton of like, you'll always be loved by the things you create. Like, obviously the TVA is always going to be in support of whatever the timekeepers choose. And like, they may even accept the multiverse option, even though they've kind of been fed something different if it comes directly from the timekeepers than even Loki will. Because at that point, like, he's very much a free thinker. He's willing to do what he needs to do to accomplish what he needs to accomplish in this series. So yeah, no, I don't believe too strongly that they're like, oh, they don't exist. I just feel like it's like, ooh, big figure, like that feels, especially when the whole series feels pretty ground level for dealing with time travel and kind of things like that. Like, that's just what makes me a little skeptical, but it's not something I like hard believe. I just wanted to bring it up as a fun theory.
Yeah, no, I very valid. I mean, I really like that theory. The next one I want to hit, I had it, and no, okay, I got it. The next one I want to hit is it's kind of harkening back to kind of what we were talking about in our last stream, but it's adding to it. So in our first stream, we were both kind of to the consensus that this season's gonna end, and Loki is going to stay with the TVA. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be a part of the TVA with Owen Wilson's Mobius. That's where he's going to stay. He's going to stay with the TVA. So this time I'm extending that. And my theory is how he's going to continue, like where we go in the next season. So it goes hand in hand with my theory I just said about how the multiverse is created. I think what the thing that they're worried about is if the multiverse is created, automatically there's going to be this huge war that breaks out, which I can understand. But what if the multiverse is created, and to keep the other multiverses in check, that's where you send the TVA. When someone is getting all rowdy and fiery, you send the TVA in to chill it out. I think next season we could very well see, oh, hey, the multiverse is acting up. Let's send in Loki and Mobius to like calm everything down. I don't think, the more that I'm really thinking about this, I don't think next season, because there's definitely going to be a next season. There's no way there's not. I don't think next season you're trying to avoid the multiverse from existing, because again, it doesn't make any sense logically to where the MCU is going. Doesn't make any sense. So I think now they're playing like kind of police, like time police or multiverse police.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. Dealing with
that makes a lot of sense.
Like that. So that's kind of my theory on that.
Yeah, I don't know if I have one on like future seasons. I definitely am interested to see, because like in like Doctor Strange, I'm thinking like, how does that movie end? Like, if that movie ends with like, I think there's got to be an option for, especially when they're talking about propaganda, right? All they believe is multiverse bad, like multiverse no option for good, right? But what if like over the course of this Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, we learn, okay, there is a way to live with the multiverse, kind of the way you're talking about, Jack, and like the TVA does become, instead of being kind of just like a paperwork, like keeping documents on how things are supposed to be and minorly interfering in things, what if they become like an active part of the story again, doing what they're doing, trying to chase down particularly bad variants? Because I think what I like about the variant option, especially for multi-seasons for this show, is that they're not so, like, they're never going to be god level, right? They're never going to be Thanos. They're never going to be like the big bad. They can obviously be tackled and it's believable. Like, I believe whole heart of hearts, whether this is how the season ends or not, Mobius, the TVA, can take down Lady Loki if they need to, specifically with Loki's help. Yeah, you might have to recruit like past variants or different people, but like, how funny would it be if then next season there's like, oh my gosh, okay, there's another Loki variant, but they catch him in the first episode, and then there's some other variant of, I don't know, evil Steve Rogers, like not played by Chris Evans, but like whoever. Like, okay, we got to go track. Like, that's something that's believable to me as a one season villain that's not going to escape into the movies, that can be contained to the TV shows. But yeah, I agree. I think the TVA is only going to get really stronger after this, and I do think that makes a lot more sense of like learning to live with the multiverse as opposed to fearing it.
Yeah, I got another theory as you were talking about that. So what if So you know the scene where like he's got the little horns on, he's like the vote for Loki or whatever, and he's got
Yeah.
all the other Lokis behind him. We all think that when he's like surprised or whatever the line, like surprised or whatever the line is, we all think he's talking to Mobius in the TVA. But what if he's talking to Lady Loki and he's
Yeah.
like, surprised, I got my team here, we're about to take you down. Like,
Yeah.
what if? I don't know.
I think that definitely seems more likely. I think the trailers have really made us try to believe that, like, oh, now he escapes and now, oh, he's
Gonna
bad. Like,
rebel and
but
stuff.
I don't like Loki doesn't mind, like, just because it's a version of himself, similar powers, does not mean that he's like on Lady Loki's side. Like, he's gonna double
Yeah.
cross whoever he needs to.
Yeah, and this is something I forgot to break down when we got into our review, but I'm gonna do it now. If you look at Loki in those last 30 seconds of the episode, when he sees the TVA coming and he sees that Lady Loki's already dipped, his face is like, they're going to think this was me.
Yeah.
And he dips for two reasons. One, to get out of there because they're going to think it's him. And two, to go track down Lady Loki because the TVA, they're not going to know how to find her. Theory number 3 for me tonight. He's lying when he said he's trying to get all goody-goody with Lady Loki.
Yes.
He is bold-faced lying. He's doing his mischief. And for the first time, he's doing it for the good of the TVA.
Yeah.
He's going undercover cop on this ish. Like, that's what he's doing. He's not going to team up with Lady Loki. It's not happening. He's going undercover for the TVA. He is not rebelling. And I kind of like that. I actually kind of like
those are both of what my theories were, is that he is following her because he realizes, not even from that split second of that they're tracking him down, but almost I realized, like, okay, he's gonna have to make a choice here when, forget her name, but the guard who got knocked out by the Lady Loki when she transferred to him, she's gonna wake up and the last thing she's gonna remember is Loki and some random resident of the 2050 Alabama timeline. Obviously, she distrusts Loki, so she's gonna put the blame on Loki and try to, like, be like, Mobius, I told you this wasn't a good idea. So from that moment, I was like, he's gonna have a choice. And in that split second when they're chasing him down, he realizes, if I stay with them, they're probably just gonna punish me.
They're gonna pull them. Yeah.
Right. They're gonna what is it? Prune them is what they call it. Yeah. I'm gonna get pruned, get destroyed, disintegrated. There's no more chance for me. So why don't I follow her and I have the option to then do whatever I want? Like, if I need to disappear into a timeline, he knows at that point that they'll track him down at least. And I think there was all that talk about the superior Loki. I think in that moment he realizes, like, she is the superior Loki because I don't know enough about her, but like through knowledge and like following her, I can
figure it
take
out.
her down. So like he just realizes that like his only option for like survival at that point is to follow her. That's my belief.
Yeah, I mean 100%. I couldn't agree more. We didn't really touch on that in the review because I completely spaced, but that is a great ending because you can just tell, like, you can, like, his vulnerability shines through once again in like that split second. Like, if you really look and you really watch, like, look at his face, look at how he's reacting. Like, he knows. He's like, crap. Like, they're gonna think it's me. And I love that they made the decision they did to do that, because now it's like, yeah, he's going to do what's good, but at the same time, now he's on the run from the people that he's trying to help.
Yeah.
I like that dynamic, which I think is really good. But any other theories you have? I mean, there's just a lot coming, I think, but
yeah, I don't think I have anything particular because I think those were kind of my main things. Yeah, I think those were my main theories that I had earlier. And I don't think I have anything new. If I rewatch it and I think of something, I'll let you all know in the community post or something, or talk about it next week. Yeah, but like, yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes because I think this is a great cliffhanger, a great jumping off point. Like, are we gonna? I think even the way that the episode's gonna start. Are we gonna start with Mobius in that minute? Is he gonna return to the TVA? Is that where we start? Do we start with Loki and Lady Loki? Like, I think that option, just to even start the episode whatever the way they want, is what I'm so excited about for the future.
Absolutely.